And that's
housing working group.
the report of the social housing working group. So I've had a discussion with one of the councillors who would like one of the aspects voted on separately, but that's fine. Since this was my working group, which I want you all to see was set up, has done what it was said it was going to do, and now finishes. This is the new way of working, is just short-term working groups, get the job done, report back to council, sign off. I'll move the recommendations. Do I have a seconder for that? Sarah Templeton. So, questions? The one thing that I've been asked to do is to put item 2 separately. So agree that the adoption of a target of reinstating social housing to pre-earthquake levels by the end of this triennium be considered as part of the social housing strategy. So I'll put that separately.
Can I just clarify on that? In terms of, we're not making that specific decision today. You're saying just to consider it as part of the social housing strategy.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So what I identified, and well, we identified at the working group meeting, was that, and Bruce helpfully pointed out to us, that the terms of reference actually assumed a policy outcome of reinstating provision of social housing to at least pre-earthquake levels by the end of this council term. But actually we haven't ever adopted such a policy. So thank you, Bruce, very helpful to have that pointed out. I wanted a mechanism for at least getting it in front of the council. I know that the outcome will be determined by the council itself, and I couldn't think of a way of doing that didn't mean that the working group continued for longer than it needed to. So I've simply attached it to the social housing strategy, which will be ready to come to council relatively early in the new year. So, and given that, it's an opportunity for us to consider whether we do want to have a target. I mean, personally, I don't want to have targets that mention the earthquake going back to earthquake levels for anything. But if we don't have that as a target, if we don't consider that position, then some of the reporting information may need to change. But I'm good with that. It's a council decision as to whether we adopt that as a policy.
2 indications, Keo and then Scarlett.
Keown, Aaron Keown, and then Tim Scandra, and then Pauline Cotter.
Mine's just on that, is the pre-earthquake levels, is that just a sheer number? If so, why not just use that number? Or is it population based? Yeah. Because if the population has grown by 5%, then will social housing grown by 5%?
Over and above the
or decreased if the population's less than.
We'll come to the actual adoption of a target with the consideration of the social housing strategy. So we didn't consider that at the meeting. All I'm saying is that the terms of reference of this working group assumes that that is our policy. So I don't think it will be enough for some, it will be too much for others, and others will have different sets of priorities. So let's have that debate then. This doesn't predetermine that. Tim?
Yeah, look, I'm a bit confused about this too, because we are under a huge amount of pressure in our LTP to what kind of finance. I mean, is this something that we're going to discuss later on, this point too? But then if we're going to put, adopt targets, etc., that are unachievable when we're looking at an LTP, and we have communities right through the city. We've just had New Brighton telling us how appalling we've been with regards to that. So, I mean, I just
sorry. Look, I've just used a bad word because we're not debating this today. So, can we change the wording to agree that the consideration of a target of reinstating social housing to pre-earthquake levels agree that the consideration of a target be be included as part of the social housing, be included.
Leanne, if
All right,
that's,
so that makes it clear.
if that's the case, put it together. Yeah,
Right.
I don't need it separately now.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not saying, I don't want us to have the debate today. That wasn't the function of this working group. But if the working group itself was actually set up on the assumption that this was a policy, but actually it was a commitment that I made during a campaign, and if the, but it will be over to the council to have that debate with proper information in the new year. No.
There isn't a policy.
There isn't a policy, and this is not a consideration of the policy. But anyway, Pauline. Covered. Right. Okay. So that has been moved and seconded. So I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you.